All right. So honestly, you've probably been seeing these kinds of tariff stories popping up everywhere lately, especially when it comes to products made in China, everything from iPhones to baby gear. The tricky part is it's getting harder and harder to even guess what this stuff is going to cost because the tariff rules are such a moving target right now. They keep changing and the structure behind it has gotten crazy complicated. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now, when it comes to consumer electronics, this is where it really gets messy. China, as you probably know, supplies the vast majority of electronics we use here in the US. We're talking smartphones, laptops, just those two categories alone made up over 16% of everything we imported from China. And because of that, the Trump administration has been flip-flopping a bit. And they initially slapped tariffs on a bunch of stuff, but they made exemptions for some electronics like smartphones and laptops. Those were also left alone during the first Trump term. But just this week, Trump came out and basically said those same products could get hit with new tariffs, this time using national security as the reason, since they have semiconductors in them. For everything else, like toasters and honestly a ton of other everyday gadgets, nobody really knows what's going to happen. Some experts are saying we might see price hikes or maybe even shortages depending on how this whole thing plays out. But predicting anything with certainty right now is a total guessing game. The only thing we do know is that some kind of price increase seems pretty much inevitable for certain items, and weirdly, that might actually be the best case scenario for some stuff. A lot of big companies like Apple have already been moving some of their manufacturing out of China. I mean, Apple literally airlifted 600 tons of iPhones out of India just to stay ahead of potential tariffs. But for cheaper, lower margin items, those might just stop getting shipped to the US altogether if factories decide it's not worth the trouble. And the thing is, a lot of those products aren't made anywhere else. I was looking at some data from the US Census Bureau, and it turns out a full 100% of us imports for some really common household items, stuff like hair curlers, ultrasonic humidifiers, alarm clocks, and electric toasters all come from China. Not a large percentage of literally all of them. And then over 90% of other products we use all the time, like microwaves, LED bulbs, keyboards, electric fans, massagers, vapes, and even baby strollers are imported from there too. Somebody actually compiled all of this into a spreadsheet. Jason Miller, who's the interim chair of the supply chain management program over at Michigan State. And it's honestly kind of eye-opening how reliant we are on one country for so much of our everyday tech. And it's not like some American factory owners sitting around thinking, you know what, I should start cranking out toasters now. Because here's the problem. All the parts you'd need to even build those toasters also come from China. The entire manufacturing ecosystem for that stuff exists over there. Everything from the company that makes the tiny screws to the one that molds the plastic parts to the folks who make the assembly equipment, it's all built up in China. And according to Jason Miller, it would take years, probably decades, to replicate something like that anywhere else. And let's be honest, it's definitely not happening in the US. Miller pointed out that we've seen this sharp, steady decline in small electric appliance production here for like 35, 40 years now. So trying to bring all that back overnight isn't just unrealistic. It's borderline impossible. Now, there's been this kind of misplaced hope floating around that maybe we could start making smartphones in the US. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick even claimed that someday an army of millions and millions of human beings screwing in little screws to make iPhones could be coming to America. But yeah, no, there's an overwhelming mountain of evidence showing that the US simply can't produce these things, even if we wanted to. The parts alone mostly come from China and other countries in Asia. And now those places are looking at steep tariffs too. So bottom line, it's trade war isn't just some abstract policy debate. It's something that could hit our wallets in a very real way, whether it's toasters, phones, or baby strollers, and the full impact, we still don't even know yet. Thanks for watching and see you next one.